Hello everybody and welcome to NPA Sports Extra Winter Edition.
We're going to be taking a look at all the sports teams from the winter, and we'll be showing you the top 10 plays from the winter season.
NPA Sports Extra Winter Edition starts right now. Hello everybody and welcome to the NPA Sports Extra Winter Edition. I'm Billy Glynn alongside Joe Meehan here for this winter update on the Norwood sports. Joe, it was a great season for the Mustangs in the winter season.
It really was. Even 2 hours away in Westfield, I was keeping track of all the Norwood sports like always, and every time I checked, the team seemed to be doing well. So it was great to see the end results for all the seasons for these teams.
And winter always a popular season here at Norwood High School, filled with lots of great sports, lots of action like hockey, basketball. We also have your gymnastics, things like that. A lot of sports and a lot of great teams here for the Mustangs. Up first in the show, we have a great one for you. It's going to be the boys varsity high school matchup against Walpole in the tournament. This is a huge rivalry, obviously, as we'll get right into the action here right away. It's Rourke Flynn to Mark Powers, just wide. As this game was back and forth the whole way, you see here Jordan Davis making a save, net goes flying. Davis again, cleared away by his defense. He had a lot of help on the D all day.
And from what I heard, I didn't get to see many of the hockey games, but Jordan Davis, just an unbelievable season for Norwood, the team MVP for the hockey team.
Gover on the first shot, denied. Second shot will not be denied. Wasn't the prettiest goal, but they all count the same. Norwood gets on the board 1-0. That was on the power play.
Yeah, that's why they tell you just throw it on net. You never know what's going to happen. Just like a soft little shot there by Gover, and somehow went through the legs of the Walpole goaltender.
That last one by Walpole there came after the first period buzzer, so no goal after one. Norwood leads 1-0. Davis still making saves here, getting cleared out by Emmett McNamara there for Norwood. And as Walpole really could not figure out Davis for a while, but they eventually would get on the board. As Walpole draws it back here. Initial save is there, but the rebound is in. It's 1-1 Walpole just like that.
And we saw Davis make a couple of those acrobatic saves just a little bit too late on that one. Not really his fault.
See a tip here by Danny Farrell on a Tyler Gover shot. About chest high. Still got a piece of it. Pretty impressive, but just tipped wide. This game was back and forth, as we said. Jack Sheen with a good chance there, but no good. Norwood had good offensive zone pressure, especially late in this game. As you see here, a couple of good chances, but Walpole hung tough with the higher-seeded Norwood. And here, the Mustangs, off the face-off, walk right in. What's my favorite superpower, Joe? I want Mark Powers right there, number 7 for Norwood. Gives them the lead 2-1.
And you got to give some credit to the setup by Anthony Delmonico. I couldn't tell if that was a shot or not, but placed nicely off the back wall, and Powers was in the right spot for the rebound.
Here, Walpole trying to answer. Davis just denies him. That was with about 10 seconds left in the second period. A huge save for Davis. But Walpole would get back on this one. Couple, as you said, acrobatic saves, but they just couldn't do it there. 2-2, Walpole ties it up. Here you see, wouldn't be a Norwood-Walpole hockey game without a little bit of a scrum out front. Probably talking about their favorite color or something like that, Joe.
Yeah, I don't think he's congratulating on him on a good game.
Not yet, anyways. Because we're here in third period action. Rourke Flynn, good opportunity. So here comes Mark Powers on the other end. He goes just wide, tipped by Anthony Delmonico. And this one will be headed to overtime now. Huge crowd on hand, as you see there. Norwood-Walpole hockey game tied 2-2. Only fitting that it goes into overtime.
Yeah, these two teams, they always play close. It doesn't really seem to matter what the records are, and they just both happen to have good years. Headed into overtime, perfect fit for these two teams.
And right off that overtime faceoff, good shot by Tyler Gover, but denied by Walpole there. And then a good Walpole chance right back the other way. Almost snuck in the back there behind the goal line for Walpole.
Jordan Davis once again found a way to be in the right spot, diving all over the net.
showing here why he's the MVP right off the face-off. Looked back a sec, might have thought he had some bad news, but it was in his pads.
Yeah, always a good idea as the goalie to get that stick behind you and make sure nothing squirts through, and he did a good job of it there.
A couple of really nice saves by Davis here. This is about the third one. He really kept them in this in the overtime for a while. Norwood was running around for a little. They had a lot of good pressure, but Davis definitely bailed him out. As here we go. It's number 8, John Galvin. Takes the initial shot, goes wide, but you're going to want to keep your eye on him as Gover sends one in behind the net. Who's there? John Galvin? Game over. Galvin with the overtime winner sends Norwood on to the second round. That's a highlight reel play there. I'm going to give that one a top 10 nominee.
Just an unbelievable goal by Galvin. You could see kind of in the corner of the screen there before he came around the net, he had a Walpole player go down, which is the reason why he was so open, and then he just showed some serious patience and put that one home. Unbelievable.
Biggest scrum of the night involves only Norwood players. They celebrate beating the arch rival Walpole in overtime in the tournament.
You can only imagine there's no better feeling than beating your rival in a tournament game, especially in an overtime game like that.
Just really adding to this great rivalry, another classic game for the history books here between the Mustangs and the Rebels. Moving from backhanders to back walkovers, we're going to talk about gymnastics.
Yeah, the gymnastics team, not a squad that gets a lot of publicity, but a 4-5 team and a lot of great individual and team performances by them this season.
Take a look at some highlights here. First up, we have Sinead O'Brien, a freshman, doing her floor routine. Joe, I know this was your event back in high school.
I wish I could have done some of this stuff. Some of these flips, I can't even do a somersault. It's amazing what they can do.
A lot of height on those. Auditioning for the dunk contest, I believe, next year.
Yeah, my vertical is about a half an inch, so this would be an issue for me.
We move on to Maria Katinas, senior captain on the gymnastics squad.
It was a pretty nice little flip into a tumble there by her.
The old tuck and roll. Not sure what her score was, but it looked like a pretty high degree of difficulty, if I don't say so myself.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I could never judge one of these because I feel like I'd give a perfect score to pretty much everyone because I can't do any of this.
I also believe she had a sprained ankle while she was doing this, so add that.
And a nice little shimmy at the end there to finish her routine.
So here we go with what could have been the performance of the night. It was Kristen Folan, junior on the team. I believe she's been the MVP all 3 of her years there.
And look at the height that she gets. Not a very tall girl, but she got up pretty high in the air on that last move.
And that's good for gymnastics. That's what you want. You want a small little person who can flip in the air like that. See, she takes a breath here, and look at that. That's going to be a top 10 nominee right there.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say you might see that one later on in the show.
Very impressive. The whole routine was impressive, and actually you'll see more of her in this highlight alone. She was everywhere.
And Bill, you mentioned you'd like to do some of the stuff on the trampoline. You think you could do some of these double flips that she does, or are you more of a once up in the air front flip kind of guy?
I'll tell you what, I don't know if I could do it, but I'd be willing to try. As Kristen Folan looks like she's, I believe, ready to end this routine. She got an 8.7, but we have here written on our notes that it should have been a 9.
I give her a 10. I don't know how high they go.
Yeah, I don't know if a 9 is the highest she can go, but at least a 9, we'll say. It looks like she has one more pass. Obviously nailed it. And the finish. Beautifully done there. Tough act to follow, but Liz Kearns absolutely did a great job, but also a junior for the Mustangs. Whole team really did do a great job. Sinead O'Brien first up on the bars.
And see, I think if I was going to do a thing in gymnastics, it would be the bars. These look like a lot of fun. Probably pretty dangerous, but a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, these do look fun. These look a lot like you're back on the jungle gym. See the dismount there. Good job sticking the landing. Next up, I believe we have Liz Kearns, who was also on the floor routine. A lot of all-around competitors here for the Mustangs. Watch out for that mat.
Yeah, see, Coach, you might want to move that mat.
Not Liz's fault. Hopefully no deduction for that. Late pull away by the officials there.
And a beautiful landing on the dismount off the high bar.
Yeah, did a great job. And here, Kristen Folan again continues to impress. My mother was a gymnast, Joe, and I believe she used to coach the team. I believe there's 1 or 2 girls that do every event. And I'm pretty sure Kristen Folan was that girl for the Mustangs.
Pretty impressive there. Nice flip and not even a step on the landing.
Great job there. Next up, we have the vault. Another very fun event that I would not mind giving a try. That's Mackenzie Begley, junior on the team.
I'd love to try, but I feel like I'd definitely hurt myself doing this. Just jumping off that little springboard there, I feel like I wouldn't even make it to that thing that they put their hands on.
There's Liz Kearns, followed by Kristen Folan. Little double backflip, never hurt.
And how you have enough time to get a double flip into your routine is just amazing.
And finally, we're going to finish up with the balance beam, my mother's event back in the day. Have to give her a shout out in the gymnastics world. Really, very impressive job. I could never stay on the balance beam. Great job there by Mackenzie Begley, good dismount. And here we have Kristen Folan finishing it up, just doing moves that I've never even seen before.
Yeah, I can't even do a cartwheel just regularly. I can't imagine trying to do one on a balance beam.
Here she is. Believe that beam is like 6 inches max. And get a load of the dismount. Nails it. Great job by Kristen Folan, and great job by the entire Norwood Mustang girls gymnastics team.
Yeah, that meet was against Braintree, one of their top performances of the season. All right, up next we have a package for you with track coach Russ Booth, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about the great season that the boys track team had, and especially that Jason Matova, who was their team MVP.
Unbelievable season for him.
My name is Russell Booth. I am the head boys track and field coach for Norwood High School. We just completed our indoor track season for the 2012-2013 season. We had a great season. We just finished our dual meet season. We went 4-2 for the first time in, I believe, almost 20 years. We won a share of the Herget Division Championship. We tied with Milton in the league at 4-1. We lost our only non-league dual meet to Needham. We had like I said, we had a fantastic season. We started out with a loss to Natick. We had a couple of conflicts. You know, we have a lot of great kids on the team who try and do more than one thing at school. So we had a fine arts commitment that they had to commit to. So we ended up losing that meet by 5 points, but we went 4-0 over the last month of the season. We won an outstanding and very exciting meet against Milton. That meet came down to 1 point. We won 48-47. A lot of great competitors, a lot of great events the entire season. That particular race, or that particular meet, came down to the 2 mile. And Jesse Fleming, who is only a sophomore for us, he ran the 2 mile. He ran a 25-second, I believe, personal best, and he placed third in the 2 mile, where we usually don't do particularly well, but he ran his heart out, and he beat the Milton kid by a pretty sizable amount. The kid who came in 4th place, he beat him by a sizable amount, got us the only point we needed, and we ended up, that put us over the top for 48 points, which is what you need to win. Some of the other highlights of the season: we beat Walpole for the first time in a number of years. We had some very successful individual performances this year. Lonsdale Garrison was outstanding in the shot put for us all season long. He had a best throw of 50 feet. Anytime you throw over 50 feet, that's an outstanding throw. Dan DiTomaso's he's a senior captain, and he's been fantastic for us for the last 3 years. And he had a personal best of 45 feet in the shot put. But his leadership was outstanding. You know, he's taken the kids this year and really taught them how to throw, and he's improved the young throwers that we have coming back next season. Other senior captains we had was Ryan Igo. He was outstanding all season long. He battled a little bit of an injury at the beginning of the season, but he worked himself back into our starting lineup for the 600. Our last senior captain that I really need to talk about is Jason Matovu, and he does everything for us. He really was probably the biggest reason why we were able to win a share of the conference title in the Herget Division for the first time since 1992. He does everything in terms of events, he does everything in terms of attitude, and he does everything in terms of recruiting kids. Every single meet, he was in 4 events, and he placed in every single event. His total for 6 meets this season was 95 total points, and I believe that was about 30% of our total points for the entire season, and that's with him sitting out a couple of events against Dedham. Without him, we don't win a conference championship without him. Track is not as respected as it is amongst the school right now, and we don't have the bright future that we have looking down to next year and the year after. So he has really done an outstanding job this entire season. But I'd like to congratulate the entire team. You know, championships don't come every day. You really have to work hard for it. They're not just given out. That's something you guys are all going to be able to come back and be proud about and see the conference championship banner hanging in our gym. And you can look up and say, hey, I was a part of that championship team in 2012, 2013, and it's something you guys should all be very proud of. All right, congratulations.
Congratulations to the girls and boys track teams, especially the boys team, on winning the Herget division.
And up next, we have the basketball team, the men's team, coached by Rich Cormier, who is a teacher here as well at the high school. He's been the head coach for the basketball team for a couple years.
Since we were there, Joe.
He has been. No intro here, getting ready for tip-off.
Big game versus Walpole, as was the hockey team had, rivalry week.
Yeah, these basketball games, they're usually pretty good crowd, especially for these Walpole games. As you can see there behind the benches, a packed house. As we get underway, Chris Bell knocks down the shot there for Norwood. Only a senior, only a freshman, and he was starting at point guard for this Mustang team.
Very impressive to see a freshman out there playing in the biggest stage against Walpole like that.
Been watching him for a couple of years. He's a year older than my brother, and he's a very talented player. Nice lead pass up ahead there. And the jumper is off, but a nice rebound down low, laid back in.
Yeah, that's Charlie Crockett. I believe he's a junior this year, and he's listed at 6'8" on the roster. Huge presence there for the Mustangs.
Plays both basketball and baseball. Looks even bigger on the baseball field than he does on the basketball court at 6'8". Some nice defense here from Norwood, coming up with the block. And out the other way on the fast break. And a beautiful shot there by Brian Gertie. You might see that one coming up later on in the show.
That's a highlight reel type play there, definitely.
Fading away, absorbing the contact and somehow knocking it down. Norwood defensively here. Diving on the floor, love to see that kind of hustle.
That's a Tommy point there for Brian Gertie again, all over this highlight.
And somehow the lay in there through traffic as he got the foul and the basket. And then back the other way, a steal and a miss, a hard foul there as he got sent into the tarp behind the basket.
Yeah, the new gym there, they got that good mat, or rather sort of a curtain behind you. Would have been a nice brick wall, the old one, so he's lucky there.
Walpole with a couple baskets there. Absorbing the contact and the foul.
Yeah, from what I understand, Walpole had a great season this year. Norwood couldn't quite keep up with them, but looked good on some of these plays here. Nice layup there.
Yeah, especially there. Beautiful fast break as they head into halftime. And to get the second half underway, try to go for the alley-oop there. Crockett off the screen. Couldn't come up with it, but on the next possession, he was able to lay one in.
That would have been something. Nice little alley-oop. I think that would have been a top play nominee if it had connected.
I haven't got to see him play live. I wonder if he can dunk at 6'8".
I was thinking that as well.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Definitely wouldn't surprise me.
Deep three here by Walpole, knocked down right in the face of the Norwood defender.
That's a boom goes the dynamite moment there for Walpole.
And a nice look down low. Turnaround jumper is knocked in by Gertie. Walpole quick to answer, however, getting their own easy lay-in at the other end. And Ryan Greeley, the runner in the lane, knocks it down. That's one of the hardest shots to do, running in with the taller defender coming out at you.
Yeah, Ryan Greeley, I believe, is his first year playing, making the most of his minutes out there, getting a nice finish on the basket.
More easy baskets down low for Norwood. Charge attempt taken there. No call from the ref. Tough officials.
I know this is a highlight, but you can't argue with the refs now. A few weeks late, but looked like a charge from here.
Ended up being a loss for Norwood. A somewhat tough season, but they showed a lot of improvement, especially after a slow start. They picked it up late towards the end of the season. and finished with a decent record. And coming up next, a lot of this wouldn't be able to happen if it wasn't for the volunteer coaches that contribute their time to all of these sports teams. And we'll take a look at the coaches that give their time to the boys basketball team.
I got into volunteer coaching because I graduated school with sport management degree, and I obviously want to work in sports, but it's real hard to find a job right now. And I'm good friends with Coach Cormier because he used to coach me back in the day. So he called me up and asked if I wanted help out with a couple programs. I coached the girls volleyball in the fall, and now I volunteer with the boys basketball in the winter. And I just figured it'd be something to put on my resume, help keep me busy during the time I'm looking for a job, and help out with the kids.
Basketball is a passion of mine, and I really like coaching, and I really enjoy coaching girls basketball. This year, I would have to say the win against Natick. You know, it was one of those games where we were behind most of the game, came out of the halftime really energized, played really fast and up-tempo, really wore down the other team, Natick, and really was a big win for our girls because it was Natick's senior night. So it was nice to get us a victory on a chance where they really needed to win and were looking for a big win.
So far, yesterday actually was probably one of the best days coaching. We had a game in Springfield, and we made a whole day trip out of it. We went to our game, and then we went to the Basketball Hall of Fame with the team. It was really good team bonding time out there, so everyone had a lot of fun.
Up next, let's take a look at the Norwood High wrestling team taking on Milton in this matchup. Norwood has a great wrestler in Mark Saulnier on their side. Won the state title last year as an individual for Norwood. Wrestling an interesting sport where you have the team and also the individuals can go on later in the season.
Yeah, it's kind of good in that way because while the team might not be so successful, if you're all about the individual glory, it could be a good sport for you.
Yeah, it's an interesting sport in that way. Just take a look at some of the action. Norwood, the lightweight division, not sure what the actual weight class was here. A couple of good matchups. I think we're going to work our way up the weight classes as the highlight goes on. A lot of pushing, a lot of pulling. That's what wrestling's all about.
Yeah, you got to be able to contort into some weird shapes to try to get out of some of these pins that they have going on.
We have J.J. O'Donnell up here. Got himself in a bit of a headlock. Doesn't seem like the best position to be in, but he's going to work his way out of this, and he's going to hang on for dear life.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Not easy to work your way out of a headlock like that, but like you said, that's holding on for dear life, grabbing for the leg.
As there's a little pile drive action there, taking a page out of the WWE from that one. Not sure who holds the WWE Championship belt, but looks like he might have it there from Milton.
See, trying to avoid the pin, doing so successfully for a little while.
Yeah, it's all about keeping those shoulders off the mat when it comes to wrestling. Been under there for a while. He just couldn't hold on until the final there. Some of these matches do end pretty quick like that. If you get your opponent on the shoulders, it can end just like that. Good takedown here from Norwood. Now Norwood's got the headlock on Milton.
Yeah, beautiful takedown pretty much by the head and held right on in that headlock. Good job, though, by the Milton guy to get out of it.
There's Norwood on their back here once again, trying to avoid the pin. And it looks like he got it there. Really tough when you got a guy right on top of you like that to avoid the situation.
Yeah, it's a lot of thinking. You got to think on what your next move is going to be while trying to avoid losing the match.
Another interesting part of wrestling, a lot of times they'll stop if they go outside the mat and restart with one guy on top of the other in a way and to give him the advantage. And it looks like it worked here for Milton as he got the takedown. I believe that's 2 points. from my wrestling knowledge.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wish I could tell you how the scoring system went, but I'm not much of a help there.
I know if you pin them, you get the win, and it looks like Norwood's in good position here. I believe that's Mike McDonough for the Mustangs, looking to get those shoulders on the ground. And he got the victory. He's fired up, Joe. Look at that. And here's the one everybody has been talking about in terms of the wrestling team. That's Mark Saulnier. Look at that takedown. That should be worth more than 2 points, I think.
And then watch this right at the end here. This is the definition of a demoralized wrestler when Mark gets off of him. Just laying there flat, nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do when you're losing to the defending state champion. It was a quick match, but at least you can say he wrestled him. And the last wrestler in the highlight here, I believe it is Cardona, Javier Cardona. He does a great job. Tough to follow up Mark Saulnier. But look at that. Just throws his man to the ground. Milton in that bridge position, just trying to keep the shoulders off the mat. Look at that arm being wrenched.
Yeah, just relentless. Refuses to get off of him.
And look at that. He gets the win. Crowd fired up behind him as well. Good showing there for the wrestling team.
And now we have an in-studio interview. Billy is going to be talking to the defending state champion, Mark Saulnier.
Joining me now is captain of the wrestling team, Mark Saulnier. Mark, thanks for joining us today.
No problem.
I want to talk to you a little bit about this season. I understand you had a great season this year, as you did last year. We're going to start talking about this year, your senior year. You were the captain. How'd you do this year, Mark?
I finished the season with a 30-7 record, and well, I ended the regular season 25-2, and then 6-4, or whatever the math is, for the rest of the season. Yeah. And
so I understand that you did great last year. You won the state last year.
Yep.
What is that like to? I know wrestling is an individual team sport, but as an individual to go on and win the state, what was that like for you?
Oh, it was that was just the greatest moment I've had in my sports time, playing sports my entire life. I was the first one in 23 years, so it was good to bring wrestling back onto the map in Norwood and kind of have kids in the school see that there's like a state champion in the school. Yeah.
And now going forward to this year, I understand you finished 4th in the state.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
And I mean, obviously you wanted to win the state, but that's still a very impressive record to be 4th in the entire state of Massachusetts. And talk about your run this year as a senior.
Well, it was kind of way more challenging this year. It was a pretty good talent, better than last year, I'd say. And I kind of had the target on my back this year going into the tournament, and everyone was gunning for me because I was the defending state champ. So I think that put a lot of pressure on. Yeah.
I was going to actually mention that right now. You alluded to it. You did feel like you had a target on your back because you were the defending champ, and did you feel like wrestlers geared up for you more than any other match?
Yeah, I definitely had a target on my back. That's because I know what it feels like. Because my junior and sophomore year, I was the one wrestling towards those guys with the targets on their back, and the roles were switched this year, and I definitely had felt like everyone was gearing towards me. There was actually in the semifinals there was a big match, me versus this kid from Duxbury, and I know he was prepared for that match, and we both that was a match we both focused on, the major match.
So, are you finished with your wrestling career, or will you be wrestling anymore?
It's a tough choice right now. It's juggling between that and baseball. I've been in touch with some colleges though for wrestling, and wouldn't mind spend another 4 years wrestling at all. It's a fun sport.
Definitely. Well, congratulations on a great 4 years here, Mark, wrestling, and thanks for being on the show. Mark Saulnier, senior and junior captain, and a state champion wrestler. Welcome back, everybody, to NPA Sports Extra Winter Edition. We've had a great first half of the show, Joe, and we have a great second half coming up for you. Up first in the second half, we have girls hockey taking on Natick. The Lady Stangs had a lot to live up to in the 2012-2013 season. Going 13-5-2 the season before, they definitely had a target on their back entering this season.
Yeah, and this is a team that we've seen this program from our years in high school. They've been probably showing the most improvement out of any team on the Norwood High Athletic Campus.
Absolutely. And with strong leadership and great all-around play, they matched last year's record, found themselves matched up with Scituate in the first round of the tournament. As here we go from Canton Ponkapog Ice Rink, it's Norwood girls hockey team versus Scituate. That's the opening face-off there of the first round. Girls came out firing on all cylinders in the first round game. Right off the face-off, Casey Smith took the puck right into the zone and ends up burying one, flipping it over the shoulder of the goalie there. Quick 1-0 lead for Norwood just 17 seconds into the game.
Yeah, that certainly didn't take long, and there'd be plenty more where that came from through the rest of this game.
Yeah, how about the next shift? Sammy Hayes follows up her shot, buries one 5-hole, 2-0 lead just like that. That's what you want to start off a tournament game.
Yeah, and they wouldn't lay off either. They kept the heavy pressure on Scituate all night.
Known to be one of the best puck-moving teams in the state, Captain Jenny O'Donnell shows why here. She finds Katie O'Brien at the far point. Look at that, nice move, good vision, all the way across the ice to Katie O'Brien. Good wrist shot, she makes no mistake. Norwood is up big in this one.
Yeah, Katie O'Brien, not usually a goal scorer for this team, only her third of the season, but it was a big one in this game to put them on top 3-0.
The Mustangs were definitely rolling in their first tournament game of the year, as they would continue to roll, where on the power play, Casey Smith draws it back to Emily Kelly, who fires one top shelf. She will be later in this highlight. I promise you that. That's her first goal. Notice emphasis on the word first, as she makes it 4-0 for the Mustangs. Now later in the game, we have Sammy Hayes streaking up on the Scituate defender, throws one out front. Good save there, and a good save on the second rebound there by Jenny Rossman, on the Jenny Rossman shot rather, senior for this team. And with a minute left, Emily Kelly blocks a shot and hustles down the sideline, makes a nice move and just buries one underneath the pad. Pretty goal there and a good move by Emily Kelly. It's now 5-0.
Yeah, don't always have to beat the goalie high. She went right through the legs there. Beautiful finish.
And guess what? Emily Kelly is not done. Takes it end to end, another nice move, and just buries one top shelf. That's a pretty goal there, making it 6-0 and completing the hat trick for Emily Kelly.
You don't always have to go high, but when you do, it looks pretty as she dances through the offensive zone there.
Absolutely. Good saving, good goaltending rather, and a good save there by junior Sam Baturin. Helped preserve the Mustang shutout and a 6-0 victory in the first round of the tournament for the Norwood Hockey girls team. They would go on to take on Falmouth in the next round, which was a tough loss for them to an unbelievable Falmouth team and an unbelievable goalie on that girls' Falmouth hockey team.
Very impressive season by them nonetheless.
Absolutely.
And now coming up, we have another volunteer coaches segment. You saw the men's basketball team earlier. Now we're going to take a look at the girls' ice hockey team volunteer coaches.
Why do I volunteer? Number one, I love the game of hockey. I grew up in Norwood, played for Norwood High School. Because of playing there, and I got a scholarship to Boston College, so I had some success playing the game. But most importantly, it's a way for me to give back to the town and to the sport. So me volunteering is natural. I mean, it's I enjoy the kids. I love the game, and it's a way for me to give back.
I chose to volunteer coach this year because I've been playing hockey my whole life, and I just really love the sport. And I knew a couple girls on the girls hockey team, so I decided to help out with the team this year. And so far, it's been a lot of fun. Probably the best memory we've had this year is on senior night. The girls were down 2-0 going into the third period, and they fought back really hard. And in the last 10 seconds of the game, they scored 2 goals. The last goal was actually 0.8 seconds left. And so it's really good for the seniors to end their senior night with that, and probably a memory I'll have for the rest of my life. So far it's been a lot of fun.
I think beating Walpole was probably the most fun. You know, the kids get really excited about that game, and quite frankly, I mean, I can remember as a kid feeling the same way. It's very emotional, and that's probably was the most fun this year.
Now it's the time we've all been waiting for here. It's the top 10 plays of the winter season. Joe, take it away with number 10.
At number 10, it's boys basketball. Brian Gertie against Walpole. Coming off the screen, pulls up, somehow turns in midair and knocks down the jumper. Beautiful shot by Gertie right in the face of the defender.
Yeah, that was a pretty shot there. Good way to start off the top 10. Coming in at number 9, how about a little Pee Wee A, Norwood Youth Hockey. Getting that puck now, it's Declan Tolman, son of Jack Tolman here at NPA, and look at that backhander, buries it, white skates and all, looking fly as ever.
I love the white skates.
But we're not done yet with this highlight, as how about 9 seconds later, they score again. 2 goals in 9 seconds for the Norwood Pee Wee A hockey team, as they would go on to tie this one 3-3.
At number 8, it's the cheerleading team in their great season, led by captains Ashley Holmes, Pam Gambla, Hannah Deepatote, and Scott McGowan. They placed first at South Regionals, getting their highest score ever, and then placed third at the Mass State Tournament. So they will now be competing in the New England Regional Tournament on Saturday, March 16th.
Back to the ice for number 7. This time it's girls high school hockey. Emily Kelly rips one there from just off the faceoff, but she is not done. She's only getting started in this highlight. Goal number 2, making a move on the defender and the goalie, and then she'll finish off the highlight with a nice little hat trick. Goes bar down.
How long until the defenders realize that inside out, or that outside in move, I should say. Beat them twice on it. At number 6, it's boys track, the Herget champs, Jason Matuvu, for the love of elevation as he gets up over the bar. Unbelievable jump there by him, just part of a great team that Norwood put together this season, winning the Herget Division title.
Yeah, they should really be proud of themselves for bringing Norwood track back like this and winning the Herget. Great season for them. Boys hockey coming in at number 5. The captain, Jordan Davis, makes a huge save in overtime to keep their season alive in order to go on to win that one a little bit later.
At number 4, it's wrestling. Mark Solinger makes quick work here of a Milton opponent. The defending state champion is not someone that a lot of wrestlers like to see on the other side of the mat when they come to Norwood, as he gets the pin. And no chance to escape that one. An easy win for him.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Mark Solinger. He came into the studio, had a good talk with us, and also thank you for providing that great highlight. Number 3, we've got Kristen Folan representing the girls gymnastics team on her flawless floor routine here. Just beautiful all the way through the air, very graceful, and really just defies the laws of gravity here.
I think me and you should get out on the mat and see if we can pull off any of this stuff. I think it'd be interesting. We can bring a camera. We can be on the not top 10. At number 2, it's girls hockey against Newton North. Jenny O'Donnell had just tied the game up at 2 with 9 seconds to go. And with .8 on the clock, Emily Kelly puts one home to give Norwood the win, 3-2. Unbelievable goal from pretty much behind the net.
Yeah, this one was shot by an amateur camera at the other end of the ice. Can't believe someone was able to catch that great moment on camera, and a great game for the Norwood girls team there. We're going to go back to last year, February 17th, 2012. This is last year's top play of the winter sports. That's Andrew Alty flying through the air with 4 seconds left on the clock to break a tie and beat Walpole. What an unbelievable goal from Andrew Alty there.
Yeah, an unbelievable shot there. The perfect angle to get it on the goal. Alty flying through the air. And then you see the celebration. Just an unbelievable feeling.
So that was last year's number 1. Now we're going to take a look at this year's number 1, and it looks a little familiar. John Galvin brings it up the wing versus Walpole in overtime in the tournament. Galvin follows up the play, and go crazy, folks. Norwood beats Walpole in overtime to advance in the tournament.
Came all the way from the left wing, circles back around the net after losing his defender. Great patience and good awareness to get that shot off over the goalie's left shoulder for the win.
Norwood pig piles on each other, a mirror image of last year's pig pile as this team gets to celebrate their epic win over Walpole, and that is the #1 play of the winter sports season. Galvin's goal was pretty impressive, but was it better than Andrew Alte's last year? Follow at NPA Sports on Twitter, and once you do, use hashtag Alte or hashtag Galvin to cast your vote to see which one was the best of the best from the winter season.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough vote because Galvin's goal had greater ramifications, sending them into the next round of the tournament. But Alte's was very pretty.
That was an unbelievable
one
goal.
One of the prettier goals I've ever seen. Getting tripped to the ice. Beautiful finish.
Whichever one does get picked will go up against the spring season's best play of the season, and we will decide which one is the best of the best. So everyone should cast your vote today. That's at NPA Sports on Twitter.
Up next, we're going to take on girls basketball. Get a footage from their game against Walpole.
A lot of these highlights coming in the rivalry week versus the Rebels.
3 here comes up a little bit short. On the follow, Jesse Gorman, a nice finish.
Yeah, that was a nice play there. Air ball, but they made something out of it.
Back the other way, good defensive work. Not able to keep that one in bounds, nor though next possession, Gorman once again swinging it, and they get it down low. Working in low, hard off glass.
That was an impressive move down low.
I have to talk to the official, see why we didn't get a call on that one, however. Once again, driving through the lane, that's Gorman, can't finish, grabs her own miss. And the 3 is knocked down by McKenna Lane, one of the captains for this team.
It's got to be the sleeve. McKenna Lane shooting with that sleeve, can't miss.
Yeah, if you're going to wear the sleeve, you got to be pretty good, and McKenna falls under that category. Norwood hit a couple of 3s in this highlight. You see here, this is Gorman with the second one. That's a deep one from NBA range as she knocks that one down.
Yeah, doesn't have to check her spot when she knows she's that far behind the arc.
Now this time it's Liz Whitney's turn. Another deep 3 with a hand right in her face.
Double 3 on the jersey and 3 points on the board. Pretty impressive shot there.
Fast break the other way. A beautiful feed by Gorman. Leads to the easy lay-in. And then working down low, that's Kelly Duggan as she makes the little crossover move to free up her shot.
That's a rare miss there from 3 for the Mustangs.
Duggan, though, battling down low. Can't get it to go the first time, but puts it back the second time, boosting her stats a little bit there, looking for the double-double as she adds her rebound totals and gets the points. And that does it for Norwood's game against Walpole. Norwood, tough record to finish the season, but another team that got better and better as the season went on.
The Norwood Nuggets turned 50 this year. Now let's take a look at some former Nuggets talking about their favorite memories from their playing days.
Happy 50th anniversary, Norwood Nuggets, and thank you to all the volunteers, parents, coaches, and board members that enabled the program to last and thrive for 50 years. Happy anniversary, and hope you have 50 more.
Hi, I'm Karen Colamy.
I'm Heather Follin.
I'm Caitlin McCarthy.
And I'm Jenny O'Donnell, and we're seniors on the Norwood girls hockey team, and we wanted to wish Norwood Nuggets a happy 50th anniversary.
Our favorite memory is playing on the first girls team.
Hey, I'm Jordan Davis. I'm a senior captain for the Norwood High hockey team.
I'm Anthony Delmonico, senior for the Norwood High hockey team. I would like to wish Norwood Nuggets a happy 50th.
And our favorite Norwood Nugget memory was going to Lake Placid a few times with the Pee Wee A's and Bantam A's.
Happy 50th anniversary, Norwood Nuggets. It's been a great 50 years. I can remember when I played back in the early 60s, we had 6 teams with the house league, and you played Friday night up at Four Seasons in the house league, and then on Sunday we had the traveling team, and we'd play our games over at BQ Forum over at BC, the old BC rink. A lot of fond memories. We had some great coaches over the years when I was younger: Maureen Gould, Al McKinnon, Dan Burns, Howie Lambert. We were very fortunate to have those guys as coaches. They taught us a lot about the game. I know when Ernie Higgins started the program, we were skating over at Tabor Rink, which is now the St. Sebastian's Rink. And when Ernie decided to leave, he offered the program to my father, and my father turned it down, and Tom Brown took over the program. And my father served with Tom Brown on the board of directors for 20 years at the Norwood Nuggets. So a lot of fond memories. One bit of information, I don't know if anyone knows this, but David E. Kelly, who is a producer out in Hollywood, played in the Norwood Youth Hockey program. His father was Jack Kelly, who coached at BU, and his 3 sons all played in Norwood Youth Hockey. So a little bit of information there. So best of luck, Norwood. Hope you have another 50 years.
This is Alan Howard. My years with the Nuggets were some of the best years of my life, serving as president and registrar, but my special moments were when I was director of the Learn to Skate program. There was so much fun in those 3 years that I ran that program, and I actually learned to skate even better myself, teaching kids to skate. We had so much fun doing that, and those years will be with me forever. Thank you, Norwood Nuggets, and best wishes to you on your 50th anniversary.
Hey everyone, I want to wish a happy 50th anniversary to the Norwood Nuggets program. I'm Mike Maloof.
And I'm Connor Donahue.
My favorite memory from the Norwood Nugget days is when I was a Squirt B. We won the state championship against Canton. Every game in that series was 1-0, and the third game happened to be triple overtime, and my buddy Rob Valaire scored from behind the net. 1-0 game, state championship. It was pretty cool.
That boy V-Bear. My favorite memory was actually, it's not really a favorite memory, but when Matt Sweeney in Bantam Bees got a hat trick against me. He was my own defenseman. Thanks, Sweeney.
Hi, my name is Jack Tolman, and I'd like to congratulate Norwood Nuggets as they celebrate their 50th anniversary. And yes, I was a Nugget, and I loved every minute of that. One of the stories that I like to tell in my early days is I really wanted to skate. Hockey was big in the 70s. Norwood had just won the state championship. So everybody wanted to skate. And I remember going down to Four Seasons, which is down now where the Walmart's is located. And I had to go down and get my first shirt. And I was with my mother. And there was this big man at the table sitting down. His name was Tom Brown. Those who remember Tom Brown, he was a very big, imposing type of man. And he said, "What number would you like, son?" And I didn't answer him. I was just standing there shaking in my boots. And finally, my mother leaned over and said, "Why don't you take number 5, Jack, because you're 5 years old." And that, to this day, that's how I know I started skating when I was 5. I had a lot of fun, still friends to this day with a lot of my Nuggets teammates. So thank you, Norwood Nuggets, for all the memories. And before I go, I have one other thank you. I'd like to thank Hood Milk and Cumberland Farms and Gorelick Farms and all the milk companies for all those milk crates that fell off the truck and allowed me to lean on those crates and start skating. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shannon Gillis, and I'm in 4th grade, and I just like playing hockey.
So I never had the pleasure of being a Norwood Nugget. I was more on the hardwood than on the ice, but I know you played. What was your favorite memory?
Well, I have to say, Joe, back in the day, I believe it was Squirt B, won the championship that year in a 10 overtime thriller. And in youth hockey, in overtime, they take one player off the ice every I think it's 2 or 5 minutes.
How'd that work?
We were playing 5-on-5, then 4-on-4, then 3-on-3. It got down to 2-on-2, and that's where they stopped it. They don't go 1-on-1. And it took 10 overtimes, and we won. Just a crazy game and a great memory from Norwood Nuggets.
2-on-2, that must have been exhausting.
Yeah, it was fun, though. It was a lot of fun.
Well, you saw them earlier on the top 10. We're now going to take a look at the Pee Wee A ice hockey team.
Bumped out nicely there by Welby. for the Bruins. Broken in here. Gover, solid shot. Puck won by Gover. Hoover on the backhand, glove save there by Del Monte. Donovan breaks it in, kicked away nicely by Curley. Donahoe works himself through, 3-on-1 here. Dolan's got the middle of the ice. One back there by Hill. Oh, on a deflection. Donovan flips it on ahead. He's got Welby here. Dolan ties it up nicely. Sullivan gains the blue line, working himself in. Tolman drops back to the defense. Nice shot, and it goes, he called it in. I didn't see that one go in. We'll take the goal. Sullivan, who gained the blue line.
Trickled by the goalie.
It must have trickled by the goalie, but then somehow it popped back out. And then Diamond is able to get around him. Takes that shot. So nice job there by the Bruins player, but also some nice work here by Norwood. You know, you really want to kind of come out flying, just like in the first period, maybe to set that tone. Harry can't quite get it out of his skates. Now you got a 3-on-1 here with Lafredo going wide. He's got Tolman ridden off nicely there by Baker. Pellin working with Hoover. Hoover's going to go to the corner. Oh, no call there.
Daniel Hoover, one of the toughest kids on this team, right back up on his feet.
The ice. Williams gets it back, takes the shot. Blocked down by Curley.
Great pass from behind the net.
That was absolutely beautiful. And just got to start to kind of do exactly what Dolan right in front, blocked down, loose. Sullivan takes a shot, blocked down, that's a high stick. Anderson picked off there by Liam. Liam coming in, he's all by himself. That puck is loose again.
Let's see if Norwood takes advantage of their numbers. Good outlet pass by Kelly to Tolman there.
Oh. There's Declan crashing hard. That's what you want to see. Get him right down there. Nice puck movement. Stick down. Trying to put it on the backhand. Harry working. Finding himself some room. There you go. That's a smart play right there. Rather than panic with it, you got plenty of time. 52 seconds left here in the penalty. Follow your shot on the backhand. There it is. Well done. Declan Tolman with 18 seconds left here in the second period pulls Norwood to within one to Finn Kelly. And Finn, without hesitating, put it right back to him. Oh! And just like that, they have tied the game. You were talking about one goal letting up here in the last 20 seconds can be kind of a breaker. How about two
that is a backbreaker.
in 6 seconds? And Martin's able to bring it right back into the zone here. Big shot. Donahoe breaking through, but Hennessy strong to it, pokes it, feels the pressure.
Good pass up. Get it to the net. Nice play.
Diamond dumps it back down in there. Pellin working. Oh, that was well done. Pellin gets around him.
3-on-1 here, 3-on-1.
Breaking in. Oh, huge there by Curley. As Hill had moved, Dolan loses an edge. That was big. Sullivan over to Ridge. Nice little look in the middle. Ridge lets it rip.
Shot on net.
And a boy. Head up. Finn Kelly working around tape to tape. Here comes Coleman breaking in. Loose puck, still there, still loose, able to tie it up. Got 6 seconds left. Oop, able to, 2, 1. right there at the tail end. And then that's how it will end. Great comeback there by
yeah, great job by Noah to come back from that 3-1 deficit. In that last minute of the second period, when Noah popped in 2 goals, turning point of the game.
Yep.
And, you know, all the scoring chances in the third period, the goalies stood up and didn't let anything in.
Yeah, both goalies played, I thought, extremely well. I thought, you know, both teams, good. It was a good quality hockey game, which is always good to see. It's you know, it's what you're looking for at this age with these kids, a good quality development. So, again, your final here from Bridgewater, your PWA Norwood Nuggets 3 and the Taunton Bruins 3.
Ever wonder how Norwood High makes a schedule for all the sports teams?
I know I have.
Let's take a look at how Athletic Director Brian McDonough gets the job done.
Today we're going to discuss how the Bay State Conference and Norwood in particular schedules games. Of course, we play 300 contests almost per season, and with that, how do we determine who we play, when we play, and all that all happens? Well, again, being a member of the Bay State Conference, we're very fortunate that we are a member of 12-team league, and within the 12 schools, we do quite a bit of competition between the schools in the league. We have 2 divisions within the Bay State Conference. We have the Herget Division, which consists of Dedham, Milton, Norwood, Walpole, Wellesley, and Natick, which happens to be the smallest schools in regards to enrollment, and then a Cary Division, which is the largest schools, Braintree, Brookline, Framingham, Newton North, Needham, and Weymouth. Within the Bay State League, we have a set of bylaws and rules talking about how we do our scheduling. And within that, depending on the sport, certain sports, we have a number of games that we can play in. In most cases, the maximum number of games is 20 for sports like soccer, basketball, hockey, football, baseball, and softball. And typically what we will do in that is we will play everybody in our Herget Division twice, and then we will cross over into the Cary Division once. And that will give us typically a 16-game schedule. That then allows us to go out and find possibly 4 non-league games against schools from possibly the Tri-Valley League or the Hockomock League. Once we have our scheduling set up in our format, determining whether we're playing twice around or in some sports like swimming, wrestling, cross-country, gymnastics, and those games and those sports we only play once around. We'll play all teams once. Teams like track, we will only play the teams in our division and may cross over into one. That's all outlined in our bylaws and how we set up our scheduling. Once that scheduling format is lined up, a member of the athletic directors from the leagues will put together a league schedule. And he'll use a grid here, and within that grid, he'll be able to determine the dates and then the schools. And then we would typically flip-flop. One year we will, if we're home, the following year we may be away. There are also a list of some open dates, school vacation week. Sometimes we'll write in and plug in the non-league games we're playing. In this case here on our girls varsity and junior varsity lacrosse, we have Foxborough for a couple of dates. We have King Philip, all right, 2 Hockomock League schools that will play in non-league games. But the schedule gives out several months before the season a league schedule, and it'll do that for all the sports that we have. Once we receive that schedule, we'll then enter that into our program called Schedule Star. Schedule Star is a web-based scheduling program. It's used by quite a few of the athletic directors and also used around the country. The nice part about that web-based scheduling, it allows the information to be uploaded so that parents and people can check on the site and find out if games are scheduled, possibly also if games are canceled. The Schedule Star program is fairly simple. It's a cut, click, and paste. What we can do is a number of ways. Check in here. We can do it by the sport. In this case here, we go boys varsity baseball, and that will give us the whole baseball schedule, highlighted with games that are home or away, blue being home, red being away. The home games, in this case, you can see our baseball team is playing our games at the Balch Field. We'll also put in there the time, the away fields once we know who they are. We'll put the date, the time of the activity, who we're playing, the opponent, Nice thing in this also, though, is it allows us to put in here transportation, what time the bus would pick the kids up and so forth. It would also give us the facility we're playing. So once we get the main schedule from the athletic director in charge of scheduling, we'll then start inputting each one of those games. And again, we can do it by sport, or we can actually pick a particular day. And here we are looking at April 10th. It's a fairly busy day here at Norwood, as we have our baseball team, varsity and junior varsity, will be over at Braintree High School. Typically, if the baseball team is home, the softball team will be away. This is true for teams like basketball, softball as well. In particular, where you share a facility, like Father Max for the soccer and the high school gym. So again, pretty much same here. If there's a baseball game, in this case it's at Braintree, softball will be home. We also have a case if we have tennis, if one team is home, the other would be away. Boys and girls, that way we can schedule games simultaneously so they can both play. Boys and girls track are home that day against Dedham. They will use the field out back. And also going that day, boys volleyball will be heading over to Braintree. So that's kind of a busy day. Scheduling is very important because it's important not only for the teams to know, to make sure that the officials are online and that we have officials for the games. We also have to make sure we have transportation available for the teams to get to their destination. And like I say, on any particular day, you can see there are multiple activities going, including the weekends. Maybe not as many games, but you know, every one of these highlighted areas in this month of April show that there is some type of game going on. With the exception of a few Saturdays and a couple of Saturdays and the Sundays, there's almost an activity going on every day. Some days you could have 6 or 8. Some days you may only have 1 or 2. But this is April vacation week, so you can see even during April vacation, there is a game going on Monday through Saturday with activity. And again, as you get later in, you can see on a particular day, this is pretty typical. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 activities and 10 games going on at one time. So there's a lot of coordination. A lot of time is spent before the season making sure that all the teams cross-reference checked for with the opponent's schedules. And typically what we will do, once we input that schedule, we will take the schedules from the opponent. They will give us where their games are being played. This here is a Walpole. So the baseball team is playing at Bird, softball is at Bird, track is at the high school, girls lacrosse is at the high school. So schools will send out their locations and times once they get the master schedule. They'll also do a cross-reference, and they will send us. This is the Needham High School schedule. They will send that to us, and we will cross-reference what they have to make sure that we have. And just, again, try to do as much of this before the season starts to make sure if there are any corrections, we notice it quickly, make sure that the times are right. Once we realize that we have that correct, the two schedules are lined up, we will then contact the commissioner. The commissioner hires the officials. Once the officials are hired, they're then all set to make sure that we have coverage for the games. Again, depending on where they are, it could be a varsity game here at the high school, and we could have a JV or a freshman game at another field. So it's important to make sure that the officials know where they're going and that we have people covering it. So there's a lot that goes on to the scheduling. It starts really several months in advance. With information based off the Bay State League rules. Once we come down from the Bay State League rules, we then do a particular scheduling component of it. We have a scheduler within the league who puts all those games together. Once they do that, we in turn then put the into the Schedule Star program. And once that's done, we do a lot of cross-reference check for both transportation, for officials, and make sure everything's in place. And hopefully, you have a successful season without too many mix-ups in regards to either buses not showing up or an official not being at a game, but it requires a tremendous amount of checking and double-checking. And, you know, if things go well, everybody plays and everybody gets the games and gets to the school on time, and it works out great. So that's it on scheduling. Hope that helps, and look forward to seeing you at some other athletic events throughout the spring.
Well, the cheerleading squad had a great year. Let's take a closer look at their season.
Silence, please. Thank you. You may begin.
That's all we have for the NPA Sports Extra Winter Edition. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Don't forget to follow at NPA Sports on Twitter and vote for which play you think is the best of the best, as they'll take on the best play from the spring season.
I'm Billy Glynn.
I'm Joe Meehan.
See you guys in the spring for the next NPA Sports Extra.
Good show. Yeah, that was good.